Hi, guys. I've taken a while out of drinking, so, but I'm back. Woo! Monday, there's going to be a theme night that is clean comedy, which is making fun of clean comedy, wholesome, whatever thing.
I just want to reflect for a moment on how wonderful it was that the show billed as the wholesome or clean comedy show was the first time I'd ever heard someone scream the N-word from this stage.
Mm-hmm. We're working on some writing for that because I'm having trouble, nailing down what I need to say for that.
Who is that for? Who goes I'm gonna go see some comedy. I hope nobody shakes up my worldview. I wouldn't want anyone to make me uncomfortable. People like that deserve to be shot in the face. With cum. I softened the blow with cum.
I got an idea, and John's gonna help me through it. I was having trouble trying to come up with clean jokes, so I just wanted to tell you guys a beautiful coming-of-age story about myself.
It's not as important exactly what it is, just that you had to fly into O'Hare, go to the shitty suburb of Illinois to a convention center for work.
I was doing this volunteering gig in a little town outside of Chicago called Rosemount. It's a really beautiful little town between the O'Hare and Chicago. I was sharing a hotel room with 5 different people that I didn't know. Because
that's right there though. You're so anyway, I got to whatever point you want to bring up the hotel room, which doesn't also have to be right away, but you're I was sharing it with 5 people. This was a volunteer gig, by the way. See, that's a good time to bring that up. So they're why the fuck? Oh. I get it. You weren't getting paid for this and you're sleeping on the floor.
And, because I was doing a volunteering job, I had to share a hotel room with 5 other people. That'll come up later. Alright. It gets good, I promise.
An important plot point is that you were hoping to lose your virginity.
Right.
And you left disappointed because you did.
Oh. And I just sit down next to this guy, and he's like, hey, how's your weekend go? I'm like, oh, it's been pretty good, but I was kind of hoping to get laid. He says, you want to have sex with my girlfriend? I'm like, well, all right.
Bill, thank God your life is so messed up. Otherwise this would be a lot more work.
So he shakes awake the lady sitting next to him.
Yeah, write that down. You were drinking Everclear. Did you not? You don't want to leave that out either.
So I had been drinking Everclear all night long. I didn't know what Everclear was at the time, but I know what it is now. Let me assure you, it's not for drinking, it's for fueling go-karts. When I bring up Everclear, I always feel like it's a good point to bring up, for those of you who don't know what Everclear is, it's not for drinking, it's for fueling go-karts.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe just...
Don't go off on the Everclear too. Everyone knows what that is.
All right, just leave. It's the Midwest. Everyone
in that fucking room.
It is a very volatile substance and leads to many of the poor decisions that, if you haven't made them yet, you will make them. Yeah. Right, there's a lot to this story. I'm not sure how we're gonna shave this down to 5 minutes.
Oh, it's easy.
All right.
Well, okay, I'm just saying that because I'm drunk. But I think it's just that we need to just don't expound on any details.
All right. All right.
That's what we're doing. That's why we're writing down all these little like connective goofs, because what you need to do is just tell the story from goof to goof to goof. Don't be like, in this hotel, it was like, no, that doesn't matter. There's too much funny stuff. Don't describe what Everclear is. Don't explain what furries are. People should just be able to get it. Because again, it's 5 minutes. In a 10-minute one, you could have an aside about Everclear. You could have an aside about, furry conventions.
Oh, I got you, Kruger. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What's the glass now?
Oh yeah, I can set this down.
Yes.
That's how you know you're not an alcoholic. And then he nudges the person who's sleeping on the couch next to him and is like, hey, come on, we're going back to the room.
Okay, that right there, write this down. So, okay, whatever the short version of that is, so it's like...
So when he shook awake his girlfriend on the couch sitting next to us, if it was a movie, it would have ended right there. Because no more needed to be said. That was the punchline. He just ended there. Unfortunately, this was not a movie. So, after a long 12-minute walk and elevator ride back to the room, in which neither of them spoke to me.
I don't even remember why any longer that we were like, this would be a good story for clean comedy. But you know what? What are you gonna get an F? Are you gonna get fired? From what? Like, you're just like, this is, I guess you could just preface it real quick.
No,
this is an innocent story, and I saved myself my virginity till I was 25, and I'm just going to tell it. I can think of nothing more wholesome. But then you just tell this thing as we've been figuring out how to tell it.
Right, like, I'm just going to tell
and
you.
And it was like, Bill, this wasn't wholesome. What
wholesome
the fuck?
coming of age story.
Yes! Yeah. There's movies with touching music in the beginning that are about exactly this thing. They're just less gross.
She gets on the bed. She gets naked and starts playing with herself. I put on a condom and we start having missionary sex. The most wholesome of sex. Yeah.
Jesus. Oh. So it wasn't the wrong hole. Or something like that. If you can figure out how to work that in. He's like, he almost stuck it up your butt. Can you even imagine? You want to fuck me in the ass? Like, that's something that is there.
So we have sex for about 20 minutes. And I was, like, this was my first time. I was expecting it to end in a minute and a half. I apparently have sensitivity issues of the uncommon kind, and was unaware of this situation. He's like, hey, you know what? If this isn't working for you, would you like to have sex with me? I was like, all right. Put on a condom. We start having sex missionary style.
Yeah.
The most wholesome style.
Yeah. And point out that the only reason that I mentioned the condom and the missionary is because it's the most wholesome way to do this. Because otherwise it is kind of like a superfluous detail. But if it's in the service of that, then it is indeed funny.
So, he climbs on top of me. We use the same condom because we're saving the environment.
Wholesome.
Right. So if anyone asks me if I've ever had my butthole licked by a fat dude in an overcoat, I certainly did.
Oh, so that movie was based off of your real life.
Shit, it might have been. Another 10 minutes of him riding on top of me. He's like, wow, you haven't really finished yet. And I'm like, yeah, I noticed. Oh my God. So he taps out. I go back to having sex with his girlfriend. He says, maybe some music will help. Yeah, we're almost at the halfway point here.
Yeah. And by that I mean the end. Wait, of the story?
Yeah.
Because what happens after that? You just fuck that dude afterwards and then, like...
Nope.
What else happens?
I have sex with his girlfriend again. He comes out with a guitar and plays me a song about meth.
God, Bill. Again. You're like, I don't know, I'm going to turn this into a comedy bit. I'm like, it feels made up. It feels like it already was something someone invented. It just needed punchlines. I guess that's what we're doing here. Was it about the horrors of meth or about how he has meth to sell you? He's like, hey, guy, fucking my girlfriend.
I remember
and me, I'll sell you meth. It'll make you happy.
I don't know.
He just.
I remember the chorus being like methamphetamines, which maybe he was a member of the Old Crow Medicine Company, and
methamphetamines.
And he.
Fuck yeah!
I heard this song years before it came out, cause like I heard that song and I'm like, you know what this reminds me of? Losing my virginity.
To methamphetamines.
And he comes out of the bathroom with an acoustic guitar. I'm getting there. It's almost done.
Yeah. Almost halfway through.
Right. We had sex I had sex with, he asked me if I wanted to have sex with him. I'm like, okay. And then like 10 minutes into the sex, he asked me if I want to take the condom off.
Did you?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. And then he's like, I got tested, and he showed me like a prick on his finger. He's like, yeah, we're both clean. I'm like, okay. I was a little confused about the situation and the experience I was having until he started singing me a song he wrote himself. I'm gonna save you the lyrics, but the chorus was about meth. A friend of mine was telling me that, hey, if you ever want to try acid, I got some for you. And I'm like, all right, yeah. He's like, but you need to know, if you're going to take it, you should be in a good mood. So wait until you're in a good mood before you take it. So if anyone's interested, I got some 5-year-old acid.
Yeah.
Needless to say, this was the strangest furry convention I've ever been to. Thanks, guys.
Humans of the audience, give it up for Bill Marashi.
I feel like we've solved the problem we were looking to solve here.
You know,
the rest of this is just more of your life that we could go all the way up until when you met Alexis.
I could tell you about how they gave me the wrong cast for my fracture. I could tell you.
Be another podcast, Bill.
I could tell you about waiting for STD results while waiting to be called for jury duty.
That actually is funny. But you know what, man?
We're just gonna let it go. I'm doing quite well, if I shouldn't say so myself.